Hey everybody, welcome to the very first episode of Tammi Takes here on my YouTube channel, TammiVision. So let's just jump right into it. So the title is below. We're talking about victim shaming. So recent events with Diddy and Cassie, DDG and Holly, Tory Lanez and Meg, and all the other various celebrities or even people that we may know that has been going through some form of DV or SA allegations. And I'm not even here to kind of discuss innocence or guilty, who's right or who's wrong to an extent. So in my opinion, which this is what you're here for, we as the collective like to blame the victim for what has happened to them, especially when they are imperfect or flawed human beings, and we actually have some form of admiration or love for the accuser, right? So I know that sometimes in order to separate the two, you have to kind of just look at patterns of behavior, meaning if someone has continuously showcased a certain type of behavior, even if they did it to someone that is considered an unfavorable type of human being, or the person is flawed, which is everybody, y'all. Let me say this, not one person on this face of the earth has no flaws. Like, we are all imperfect people. And so when I see people blaming the victim because, oh, she like a whole bunch of men, or she was a freak, or she crazy, or, he was a little bit too much, or things of that nature, it just makes me think, like, how are we blaming people for getting abused? And so when I think of these things, I'm like, well, what happened to us that we don't even honor our own abuse? Like, I've heard so many people say, well, we've all been bullied. True, we all have been bullied, but at the same time, just because you've been bullied or you've been traumatized or abused yourself doesn't mean that you deserved it. And two, why are you not sticking up for the person that also has been abused? And that is just getting me a little bit confused about the nature of some of these conversations that are circling around in social media environments, but also at the kitchen table, where I hear people saying, things like, well, she wasn't no easy feat either, so she probably did something to deserve it, or she hit him too. And let me say this, I know that men can be victim. I know a lot of the conversations is centered around victim shaming women, but we also victim shame men, and that's why they don't come forward as well when men are essayed or violently, what's the word I'm looking for? When there is violence against them, a lot of men don't say anything because, one, when it comes to essaying, a lot of men take pride in their sexual prowess, so they don't necessarily register some of their sexual abuse as that. And sometimes they're not even aware that they've been abused. And then other times they don't want to be scrutinized, mainly by other men. No shade to men, because I love y'all, but y'all tend to be the main culprits of the shaming. And for the women that victim shame, especially in situations of domestic violence and, SA, it's very concerning because I don't know too many women who have not experienced some form of non-consensual attention. I'm gonna say it that way. What is on my face? Okay. Sorry about that. Non-consensual. Yeah, non-consensual interactions with men, sometimes women, and more often than not, it's the truth. And so when I hear people pointing the finger at the victim instead of listening to one, the facts that's presented, and then also paying attention to patterns of behavior from the abuser. If I know you have patterns of violence, not only against women, but against anybody, I'm more apt to believe that you are going to commit more violence. So that's the idea of like the Tory Lanez Meg situation. Tory has been known to be violent towards not just women, just to anybody that he feels disrespects him. And we are acting like there's not evidence of these things. And then in court, it was evident that he committed what he committed. But we want to blame Megan. And I'm like, she doesn't have a pattern of violence. She may have a pattern to some people of being promiscuous, but that's not on trial. That's not criminal either. You may not like a promiscuous woman. You may not necessarily want to have a promiscuous woman as your partner, but that's not criminal. And her promiscuity is her thing. If she want to sleep with a whole bunch of men, if they are consenting to this, she's not hurting nobody. Some people might say she hurting herself by giving a whole bunch of giving her body over to a whole bunch of men, but she not committing no crime. It's the same thing with some of these men that are being put on blast for DV. If you show patterns of violence towards your partner, be it verbal, emotional, or physical, because we forget about the verbal and emotional and financial, then the physical abuse is not that far behind. And so I'm just, speaking my thoughts out loud on this here channel. This is my take on it. I think my take is we got to stop doing it. And this is no shade to people who love what some of these abusers have done and admire some of their work, because two things can be true. You can be great at singing, you can be great at rapping, you can be an amazing actor, you can have an amazing talent, you can do something really, really well and still be a bad person. Just like you can have made mistakes in your life and be a good person. That's what I believe the patterns of behavior will show. If I have a continual pattern of behavior that shows that I'm a violent, nasty, manipulative, diabolical, sociopathic person, and I did that to 4 people, the 5th person, and I didn't have any consequences with the other 4 people, there's no reason for me to want to change, because I didn't have any consequences of those things when I was presenting these bad behaviors. So I'm not going to just, with the 5th person, automatically just be this very humanitarian, sweet, kind, gentle soul. I just don't believe that. I do believe that when people come out and they say that this happened to me, you don't have to make a quick judgment or a quick decision on if the person is innocent or guilty in doing that. But you should look at, let me look at the whole story, not just what he did to this particular person, but has he done this before? Has she done this before? If so, and if they've done it multiple times, then it's probably inferred that they did it this time too. And nobody can make anybody change. The victim can't make you now be a better version of yourself. because I see a lot of that too. Well, he's been a better version of himself. No, he hasn't. She better than she was with when she was with such and such. No, she's not, because she's still presenting the same behavior. She may present it in another way. He may do it in another way, but the behavior is still the same. The way it's presented is probably a little different, because you have to kind of shift how you act towards individuals. But if you're a manipulative person, you're going to manipulate people. You may manipulate this person this way, you may manipulate this person that way, but the root is you're manipulative. If you're violent, you're going to be violent. You may not always be physically violent, you may be emotionally violent. And so when we victim shame, it just makes people not want to speak out on their abuse. And we should be speaking out about the harm that people cause us. We want to get rid of all of these criminal people. We want to make sure that, and I mean, we can talk about the justice system and how flawed it is, but there are some people in the world that don't need to be in society. They need to be locked up. And some of these people that have came out recently, in their actions, they need to be in jail. I said it. I sure did. They need to be in jail. If they are guilty, that's where they need to be. I'm not one of them people, free mind. Nope. If you did it and you victimize somebody, I'm believing the victim, even if I love you. Especially if I know that you have the pattern of somebody that is going to victimize somebody. I have family members that I love dearly. I have people that I admire, that I know they did it. They did it. And my love for you is going to still be my love for you, but I can love you while you in jail. I can. Because my love for you is also going to hold you accountable to the wrong that you do. I can't say that I truly admire or care about somebody if I'm always constantly, yeah, you a good person, when I know you're not. And so, yes, I like some of these accusers' music. I think that some of these accusers are talented. I know people in the non-celebrity world that are just as violent and just as chaotic and criminal as the people that I discussed earlier. And as much as I have a emotion about them, the fact is their pattern of behavior has shown that they probably committed such acts. Can we say that again? Their pattern of behavior probably is showing that they committed the act that we are discussing. That's all I'm gonna say. Quick short introduction to my channel here. Please comment, like, subscribe, share. I'm going to try to knock out these videos weekly. I just want to come in with a little tidbit, to show you what will be here. And there's going to be other things coming down the pipeline on this channel, you guys. It's just not going to be hot takes on certain pop culture topics or topics in general. I will be doing videos and podcasts that are centered around my personal interest. I'm a health educator, so I definitely be doing something that is going to be health education based. I also love romance and marriage and intimacy. I am married, and my marriage is a unique one, so I may be doing some topics discussing those parts of those things. And I want to make sure that the vision that I have for this channel comes to life, and building a community to grow, be better people, bring a little bit of light to the world, discussing some of these hard things and not in a way that is pointing the finger at anyone particularly. I want to make sure that even with this conversation talking about victim shaming, as I stated at the top of the video, it's not about presuming innocence or guilty in public opinion, because we all are going to have that. We all are going to have our biases. We all are going to feel a certain way, right? But sometimes you just got to look at the facts, and sometimes you just got to look at the evidence. And my take on this increasing number of people shaming the victim is just concerning, because I don't want anybody that has truly been a victim of any type of crime to feel like they can't come out and speak about it because they're afraid that the public is going to vilify them and demonize them for speaking out, especially on someone that is powerful or famous or has the ability to change the trajectory of that person's life. Yes, you know, the average Joe, it may be easier to assign the victim and the villain in those situations. But when you are discussing powerful people and that power dynamic, the victim usually doesn't want to say anything. And unfortunately, statistically, a lot of these type of crimes that are circulating on social media when it comes to DVSA are done to women. Not to say that men do not have these things done to them, because I know that they do, and they too should be able to speak out and report those particular type of things, because they should get the support, the justice, and the help they need to move forward in life and to be a better version of themselves. And that's really what I want these videos that I am putting up on this channel and this channel as a whole to be about: being the better versions of ourselves, having conversations, and seeing a perspective that makes you think a little bit, or just at some point make you see a perspective outside of your own, even when you don't agree. I don't expect people to agree with everything that I have to say. Be nice about it. Don't be in the comments, you know, coming for my soul though. But, you know, different perspectives is what help us grow and what helps us view the world in a different way. And sometimes that different way can help us be the better version of ourselves. So, as I stated before, like, comment, subscribe, share. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next video. Talk to you soon.